this is going to be one of the better football teams that we're going to play, and especially to have to play them on the road on Thursday night is going to be a challenge for us as a football team. I think Coach Stewart does a great job with this football team. He's been there for a number of years. They're kind of into a routine. They're kind of into year in and year out. They're one of the better teams in this league. And I think he's done an excellent job with this team. They've got good football coaches. They have good schemes in what they do, and they do a great job of utilizing their talent with what they're doing right now. What makes this football team probably the best one that I think he's had over the last 4 years, having the opportunity to play them, I think one of the things that makes this one of the best football teams is, hey, they've always had a Pat White or a Devine or a Renaud, and they've always had a couple players. But when you look at them this year, not only are they scoring defense, total defense, passing, or scoring offense, total offense, and passing offense, so they're one of the better teams statistically in our league across the board, but they are throwing the ball better than they ever have. I think Geno Smith is their best passing quarterback that they've had, and I think they are adding a dimension to their offense that they have not had over the last 4 or 5 years. Not only that, I think when you look at it, they've got the Devine and the Austin and the Sanders. I think they have more weapons than they've ever had. They return a receiver back from a groin injury this last week, and he has another 100-yard reception to add another piece to the puzzle offensively. I think they have a very, very talented football team, but I think it all starts, they're going to run the ball. And they've got their schemes and their zone schemes and what they do, but now they're throwing the ball better than they ever have, which makes them much more dangerous as an offense. When you look at them on defense, they return 8 starters off last year's team. I think same thing, they're number 1 in scoring defense, number 1 in total defense, pass defense, rushing defense are top 3. Statistically, they're really good as a football team, but they return 8 starters. They've got guys that have been playing for 3 years. We went back and watched a game from 2 years ago, and they've got like 6 guys that are starting for them now were playing in that game 2 years ago. They've got not just 8 starters back, but a lot of guys that have played a lot of football. And they were young a couple years ago, and those guys have really emerged into what they're doing defensively. They have their scheme is different, which is really going to be a challenge for the short week that we have, because they run the 3-3 stack, which is different than what anybody else does that really you play, and that's one of the advantages they have defensively. And so we've got a real challenge for us. The schedule that we're going to utilize this week is going to be, we practiced last night in shorts. We're going to go today with shoulder pads on. Then we will also practice Tuesday, and we will have a light practice again on Wednesday before we get on the plane to fly up to play the game. So we'll practice pretty much every day from the game on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and then get ready to play the game on Thursday. But it's going to be a great challenge for us. Special teams, all those real skilled players that have great speed and athleticism, those are their punt returners and their kick returners, and they do a nice job. They've got great athletes in space. They're dangerous in their return game, and I think they're very athletic in what they do in their cover game. There's a reason that they're one of the better football teams in the Big East over the last 5 years. It is going to be a challenge for us to play up there on Thursday night, to play on the road, to play in front of their crowd on a Thursday night, which I'm sure will be into it, and crowd noise will be a factor for us. But what we've got to do is we've got to keep getting better from a defensive special teams as we have been. But we've got to put our offense in a position where we can be productive, and that's the biggest challenge that we have right now as a staff.